Bad Neighbours 2 Sorority Rising is a 2016 American comedy film directed by Nicholas Stoller, telling the story of a newfound sorority, Kappa Nu, led by 18-year-old Shelby and her many sorority sisters, who move into the neighborhood. With this college sorority theme, we see what happens when young people go wild while trying to take control of their lives. With the new sorority, Kappa Nu, now next door to their family-oriented neighbours, the Radners, Mac and Kelly, who are in the middle of starting their new family and are in the process of trying to sell their property to move into a new suburb. While being mentored by Teddy Sanders, a previous frat boy leader, Kappa Nu continue onto a path of trying to have their new style of sorority survive while living in the neighborhood and college system with various strict conditions. While at the same time, their neighbors, the Radners, do all they can to have them keep quiet or kicked out altogether as they try to keep up appearances as their house is in escrow for the next 30 days. In Bad Neighbours 2, looking into the character of Shelby, we see a young ambitious woman who wants to make a difference and be a part of something special and meaningful in her life entering college. After visiting a frat party and seeing how the vibe there is super rapey, with the frat boys' poor attitude towards women in general or sorority girls, her friends discuss the situation together and come to the conclusion that they want to make a sorority on their own terms and not anyone else's. For they don't want to be forced into any uncomfortable situation to be made to be any kind of stereotype. They feel it's unfair that fraternities are able to host parties, yet sororities, on the other hand, are not. As their new sorority progresses, they defy this rule and host their own parties and find their way to make money, including selling marijuana at a local event. Although they come into confrontation with various opposition, including their neighbours, the Bradners, and their extended family and friends, Jimmy and Paula, and later Teddy, they are able to overcome any obstacles in their way to achieve their dreams of hosting a sorority where girls do what they want, and after even able to attract new members to Kappa Nu, meaning not only does their legacy continue, but they can extend onto the current sorority they've already established. With the character of Teddy, we see a young man who in recent years has graduated from college and has been working as a model. All of his friends have been making progress in their careers, while Teddy has struggled to find something that works for him, as many people can relate to. As the conversation goes, Teddy is seen as not really having moved on from his college days, and in general is lacking in maturity, which his friend Pete in particular has been worried about. With his previous experience running a frat house, Teddy is initially able to pass his knowledge on to the new sorority sisters as they move into their old frat house. Although he is eventually kicked out of the group when he begins overruling their ideas, Teddy is not deterred and is determined to make something of himself as he joins his old enemies and neighbours, the Radners, in doing what they can to take down the sorority before it's too late for everyone. Teddy too finds what he's looking for when he comes to the realization he works wonderfully and naturally as a gay wedding planner, as seen being best man at Pete's wedding in the end. Looking into the ongoing existing neighbours, the married couple, the Radners, who have one young daughter and another one on the way, they want to be able to sell their house and move to their new place without any dramas. However, chaos ensues when their ambitions cross the ambitions of the newly founded sorority Kappa Nu, and both sides can't seem to come to a peaceful agreement until the end. They are assisted by their family and work-connected friends, couple Jimmy and Paula. A theme which comes up a lot is of young adults struggling to find their place in society. Similar to Mac and Kelly, Jimmy and Paula too have their difficulties in trying to make their relationship work, bringing kids into the world also. Issues continue to arise, including whether parents are fit enough to have kids and are doing a good enough job to have more. Partners continue to ask this question of each other, and although they have their own insecurities, they're able to work out any issues and find a way to make their current circumstances work. At first, the Radners weren't seemingly able to relate to Teddy and his ways, but getting to know him more and he's seeing his struggles, they can empathize with him and his difficulties and what he's going to do with his life, seeing he's been unable to find a place to stay at this point in time. He moves into the Radners, and Teddy and Mac in moments are shown to have much in common as they analyze over life, such as why foods transform differently in boiling water, for example. In Bad Neighbours 2 Sorority Rising, we see themes of family dynamics and family complications and how this can influence some decision making. Shelby's father, at the request of the Radners, visits his daughter and tries to get her act together and stop acting immaturely, but is unsuccessful. Shelby is infuriated by this and wants to take things further against her neighbours, because this has crossed the line. But in a way, it seems that the Radner's own daughter is somewhat similar to her in the way she seems to disobey her parents as she goes around playing with toys she's not supposed to. Throughout the film, there's a strong feeling of importance of caring for someone's own family or friends in a community environment, also trying to find one's own freedom and independence at the same time, especially while going through formative years and seeing what we want to do with our lives. In analysing Bad Neighbours 2, Sorority Rising, we see into a world where people of various ages are doing what they can to overcome any obstacles in their lives, to live the kind of life they want. With the example of this new type of independent sorority, we see how this group of young women want to have control of their lives and to have the kind of fun that's on their terms and not entirely on someone else's, as some traditions have shown. I invite you to comment whether you agree or not, or if you have any different takes on this film or its various elements. Thanks for watching.